Next up, we have a Brixton Metals, and Gary Thompson will be joining us. And they have projects in BC, but also a joint venture with Ivanhoe Electric.
Well, let's get right to it. I know we're got a time window here. I got a lot of slides to run through. Let's see. How do I get this advanced? Here we go. So, of course, I need to put up our safe harbor statement because we'll be making some forward-looking statements today. So Brixton Metals, really gold, silver, copper. I mean, I think most of your audience is probably, fully aware of the opportunity in the metal space, and we're certainly excited to start to see some capital inflows because this has been a very, I'll say, capital-starved business on the exploration front. So really, we're exploration focused, and we do have this significant earn-in agreement on our Montana project with Ivanhoe Electric. Just a quick snapshot of the company, trading around 16 cents, gives us about a 41 million market cap, which I'm blown away by that, given where a lot of our peers are. Sitting on about 13 million cash. 257 million shares outstanding, and you can see the shareholder base. Eric Sprott was Robert Friedland. Now it's Ivanhoe Electric shares are held. So both the Ivanhoe, the shares held by Robert Friedland is now Ivanhoe Electric, as well as the earn-in agreement in Montana is held by Ivanhoe Electric, which we'll talk a little bit about later. Of course, management and Crescat Capital is also a recent new strategic shareholder, and US Global and Rob McEwen. So good roster of shareholders. We think there's lots of upside in the Brixton stock, and we've got one of the largest drilling budgets on the Thorn Project that the company's seen. Something like we'll see probably around $10 million go in the ground this year. But we do have 4 wholly owned projects in Canada and the US. You can see a pretty big presence in Northwest BC up here in Atlin Goldfields, which we're not going to talk too much about today. Really, the focus is going to be on Thorn. We have Langus in Ontario, part of the silver cobalt camp, a couple of high-grade past-producing silver cobalt mines, and then Hog Heaven, you can see Northwest Montana. So the Thorn Project, this is really my focus on my talk today, and some of these slides were pulled out of the AME talk, which I presented recently at Roundup. And when we were invited to present there, we had to take a bit of a step back and look at the project from a district scale. And it really is an emerging porphyry belt. And some of the work that we did last year with some age dates were quite important because it shows that we've got a long-lived system and multiple events happening over a very long period of time, from Triassic period, Jurassic intrusions, Cretaceous intrusions, which is quite important for this area where we've been working, and also we're seeing Eocene, so quite young volcanism, magmatism. So it really is a belt of a system. And where we are, we're kind of just north of the Golden Triangle, but I would argue that we probably need to expand the the original arbitrary Golden Triangle. But nonetheless, we've got a massive land position north of 2,600 square kilometers, one of the largest land positions in BC, in fact. And so we're always finding new stuff there. It's an amazing district scale project. Really we're copper, gold, porphyry dominantly, and it really started to grow in 2018. The project really dramatically expanded to the size that we have now, and it was largely based on this 2018 basic geoscience report, where they did some reprocessing on regional geochem data, and for porphyry copper gold weighted sums model, and it shows that the Thorn Project is one of the largest and highest ranking copper gold porphyry anomalies in the province. And this was open ground in 2018, so we basically jumped on it, and that's the massive block that we have. But if you can see my little cursor here, most of the work for the last 10 years has been focused on this northern anomaly, And we're just now starting to venture into like Metla is another one up and coming. The east targets looks pretty good, and we got this massive anomaly to the south. You know, we're just slowly starting to get boots on the ground out there. And you know, one of the analogs that we've been looking at for this project, and we're only actually taking a little snippet of the claim block showing about a 10-kilometer scale in comparison to the Sulphurets camp in the Golden Triangle, which hosts the Bruce Jack, KSM's host of deposits, and Treaty Creek, the Goldstorm deposits along that trend. And if you look at the numbers there, it's just a staggering amount of copper gold deposits in that trend. And we see similar host rocks. We've got this red line unconformity, which is a favorable boundary for mineral deposits in the Golden Triangle. And you can see this is just a number of large target areas that we have in the Thorn Project. And these are all multi-kilometer targets. Like if you look at Outlaw, that's a 5-kilometer gold anomaly here. Camp Creek, where we're going to talk a little bit about, a lot of drilling up here. The west target's a new copper anomaly for us. Trapper, we had some good success on, and this year we hope to get out to Metla and do some work out here. So, you know, I think we've identified like 14 large-scale target areas on the project, and this is where most of the work is going to be focused on this year. And you know, the work we did 2021 was drilling deeper into the Camp Creek porphyry. This is a blind porphyry deposit that has been discovered by Brixton. And really the reason is that, you know, a lot of work was done here over the years, and Brixton's been here for about 10 years now. But you can see a lot of the drilling was been fairly shallow. In fact, most of the drilling was shallow. Only 3 holes have drilled below 1,000 meters. But you know, over the years, as we started to progress a little bit deeper into the system, we started to see these mineralized porphyry clasts lower down in the diatreme, as well as about 1 kilometer to the east, this glenfiddich zone, which is a energite pyrite vein that cut 1.1 true meters of over 10% copper. And so we're starting to see more and more evidence of porphyry. But what's interesting is, though, as we started drilling deeper, you can see here in the yellow, the porphyry doesn't start till about 300 or 400 meters, where you're getting into the yellow. You're starting to see porphyry style mineralization veins. But what's really interesting is where it starts to get good is down in this sort of 700-800 meters depth. And we're starting to see grades of greater than 1% copper equivalent. And down into here, you're starting to get greater than 1% copper. So we're pretty excited about this. You can see the numbers here: 820 of 0.4 copper, 318 meters of 0.69, and the bottom part of this hole ended in 14 meters of over 1% copper. So the thinking is here, and these 2 holes, by the way, are about 286 meters apart. So it's a big scale system, and so the thinking is that we would come back down this 184 and effectively wedge off. We're still working on the design of the hole, but effectively wedge off this hole somewhere down here to get deeper into the system. Because one thing that we are seeing consistent with all of these holes is that the mineralization is increasing in grade at depth here. So we think we're onto a massive system. The objective would be to drill, say, starting down here at about 700-800 meters or more, 900,000 meters, whatever we start at, and drill 1 kilometer into something, you know, like a philo mining hole, which would be 1 kilometer of like a 2% copper equivalent. That's the objective here. And if we can actually do that and prove this the case, then this thing is really going to explode from I think an opportunity perspective, which we're just not seeing in the market right now with a $41 million market cap. Here's some of the porphyry style mineralization we're seeing. This is the Suhini Group volcanics, or disseminated chalcopyrite and in the veins. And we get these massive chalcopyrite D veins with some very nice copper grades. You can see here, 3.4%. And we also hit some nice high grade gold down here at 1175. We hit 1.8 meters of 89 grams gold and 0.4 copper there. Now just quickly on the Trapper target, because that was Camp Creek. That's one, you know, this Camp Creek target, which I just referred to. this is one very large scale target, but we spent a lot of time last year on the Trapper gold zone, and didn't want to necessarily discredit the Outlaw target, because this is a large gold target here at Outlaw. But some of the grades we're getting out of Trapper were pretty impressive, 135 gram with visible gold at surface and rock samples. So we drilled about 15 holes here, and we did manage to expand this Trapper anomaly now to about 4 kilometers. And I would argue that the work we did at this Chivas target many years ago is actually an extension of the Trapper target, which now we have about 11-kilometer trend here. So the Trapper could be more like 7 kilometers or 8 kilometers, we're not even sure. Large scale system. Here's some of the drilling we did in last year. You can see hole 186 was the better hole. Significant visible gold counts, 187 meters of 1.6 grams of gold, 139 meters of 2.14, and including 11 meters of 19 grams. So pretty impressive hole, well mineralized. Within the diorite, looks like a quartz diorite porphyry unit. We're also seeing mineralization hosted in the mafic Stahini group, Lapilli-2 volcanics. You can see here you get some nice grades in the volcanics as well. And we're still trying to figure out what's happening here geologically, but it looks like quite a big system that we're really just getting started on. Here's what some of the visible gold looks like. You get these little veinlets, sulfur salts, base metal carbonate veins, galena, sphalerite, pyrite, visible gold, and also visible gold disseminated within the diorite unit as well. So it's pretty impressive to see that much visible gold here. So we're excited to get back drilling. So the main focus for us 2022 is going to be significant amount of drilling on this Trapper target, as well as the Camp Creek target. Now we do want to get a few holes into this Outlaw target, because we're drilling this back, from 2014 on. We drilled this to about a 600-meter strike here. You can see the drilling in the sediment hosted zone. What's cool about this target is that it's got a 5-kilometer footprint, and it's a stratigraphically controlled. You can actually see the mineralized horizon here that seems to go along in a bit of a layer cake pattern. And the idea would be to basically just infill between the eastern zone and the central zone here. There's a big gap here that doesn't have any drilling. And what's cool about it is it's very consistent mineralization. These are fairly widely spaced holes here. They're 75, that's about 150 meter space hole between those two holes. So it's a big system here, and we think we can build a meaningful amount of ounces here and are relatively easy at surface mineralization. Now, just quickly on the Metla target, this is another high-ranking large-scale copper-gold porphyry system. We did some age dating last year, coming in at Triassic. It got 220 million years, and look at the scale bar down here. There's a 5-kilometer scale bar. So we're talking about almost a 20-kilometer target area. Most of the joy has come out of this area, and we've got some pretty impressive porphyry style mineralization. I mean, this is what you want to find here: bornite, chalcopyrite, potassic altered porphyry mineralization at surface. Was basically found at a float sample in the toe of a glacier. So we know it's coming from this area somewhere, and so the goal is to find the source of this high grade, 4.7 copper, 1.8 gram of gold, and ounce of silver. And it's also got some palladium numbers in it. So lots of work yet to do. The goal would be to get a lot more boots on the ground here this year, and try and get this ready to drill. And if we're lucky, maybe get a couple holes in it before the end of the season. So big
Gary, I do have to jump in here, unfortunately. Like 15 minutes just fly by. It's insane. Yeah, so it just happens. But we do have questions for you in the chat about cobalt market. Maybe you can give us I see it. No, it's coming up, but maybe also a breakdown on your exploration spending this year. That's something I'll definitely ask you in the chat, so because I want to learn more. So appreciate you joining us. I hate to do this, but we have to move in the program, Gary. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us.